camera.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll on sound speed. Camera one, camera one rolling, camera two, and I'm gonna slate.
Sir.
And what's the
Body slate.
Probably,
You're on
probably
this
from
frame.
your knees. I bet from this
This
What's
frame
that?
is like
from your
waist
knees,
up
you
Waist
go-
up.
or belly up. That one is a little bit wider, so it should see like your knees up.
Okay.
Or something. Okay, so in frame.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, this is Todd interview. Take one, only one.
All right, Todd. So tell us about your first experience with Hollywood and Pixels.
2017, I was on Facebook and I saw that Bettina Sherrick had posted, I don't know if it was a call for support or just an announcement about Hollywood and Pixels, but Bettina and I had worked together on Turbo, which was a DreamWorks animation film that Fox International was then distributing. And so we'd worked together briefly. She was wonderful. And I was like, what is this Hollywood in Pixels? What they're preserving campaigns that seemed, I had the time and I was like, reach out to see if I could support in some way. And we met. It was a great meeting. And she basically said, what would you like to do? And I said, I could help with the archive because I used to work at a digital creative agency. I understood the campaigns and the file formats and things like that. And she soon after that handed me a bag, like a grocery bag full of CD-ROMs and disc drives and things like that, and said, "Here you go." And that's how I started with building the archive and making sense of all these incredible campaigns we've archived over the years from 1994 on.
Okay, so I want you to talk more about how we got to the grocery bag. What were people doing at the end of a campaign when we moved on from a particular project? Like, what were people doing with all the work that had been done?
So, what I understood from working with the studios, I was an account director at a digital creative agency that worked with the studio. So, I worked with Paramount, Sony. We had some Sony work. We didn't have Warner Brothers. Let me go back and say that. I worked at a digital creative agency, worked with studios, Paramount, Sony, and I understood that as a movie launched, come Monday after opening weekend, a lot of times they were already moved on. The studio marketers had already moved on because they had such a heavy workload. So I understood that on the agency side, we kept all the files, right? We had all the iterations of websites that had been built, widgets, games, things like that. So I knew that that's what was on our hard drives at our agencies. It was going to be the same at every other agency. So Bettina, coming from the studio side, was expecting that the studios had preserved all these campaigns. Where, as I was like, I don't think they care. I don't think they have time to care. So, uh, so having worked at an agency and I worked PR at that agency, so I knew what all the other agencies were doing and what their award-winning work was at the time from like 2010 through 2013 was when I was boots on the ground there. So I knew that that was where we were going to find all of these campaigns to archive and find these, especially the OG campaigns. And that's been true to form. I think Sony did some preservation, but by and large, the studios don't know where anything is because the circulation of people in and out and whatnot. But it's the agencies that they could provide us so much of our content.